Hey everybody, it's Kathy P. Welcome back to my channel. Hey guys, thanks for coming in and watching this. It's just a short video. Of course, it's on none other than Bullhorn Betty and her misinformation. I'm going to play a little intro dedicated to none other than Big Bad Betty, courtesy of T. Kelly.
Betty was in it for more than just fun. She had a nickname, the big cruise incisor, cause downhill gravity is a big equalizer. Big Betty. Big Betty. Big Bad Betty. Betty was in it for more than just fun. She had a nickname, the big cruise incisor, cause downhill gravity is a big equalizer. Big Betty. Big Betty. Big Betty. A big bad Betty. Big Betty. Big Betty, a big bad Betty. Well, the moral of this story is plain as day. Don't lie about your weight and don't lie about your age. Cause truth may be known by only you and your mother, but gravity will get you one way or another. Big Betty. Big Betty, big bad Betty.
Alright, thank you T. Kelly. You're so talented. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. But we're going to get into this. This is on August 21st, Friday. There was 3 suitcases found in Delray Beach, Florida, with the remains of a young woman. Betty decided to do a TikTok about it. Betty, of course, gets the deets wrong. Passes misinformation, knows she's done it, but don't go back to correct it, of course. And she could go back and edit that video. And she's not going to take it down because it's all about views for Betty. It's not about the victim. It's about getting views. She's not happy with, her YouTube situation. So I guess she decided she was going to go revive her TikTok thinking the haters wouldn't bother her. Boy, is she wrong. She has a lot of haters on TikTok, with good reason. But we're going to get into this article, or this is a press conference by the Delray Beach Police Department about the remains found in the 3 suitcases on Friday. Betty knew the details because she has one of the articles posted right there on her video on TikTok. She clearly didn't take time to read it. But there's been many articles and there's been many news reports about this. She didn't even watch a 1-minute video to get the facts right. Honestly, I expect nothing more. Betty can't, she says she always gets it right. She doesn't. And this proves she doesn't. I mean, do some research, Bullhorn. It would have taken you a minute to watch one of the news stations that have covered this story. Many have. You knew the facts. You've got the article right there. One of the articles that you clearly didn't bother to read. But let's just get into this because this is so sad. This is just so sad. The whole story, the whole case. And all Betty cares about is the views. That's why she's not going to remove that video, because she might lose a couple views on TikTok. She makes me sick.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're here to update a homicide investigation that happened with our officers' involvement on Friday, and we're here to give you some updated information on that. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ted White, Public Information Manager for the Delray Beach Police Department. Today you will hear...
Now, you heard what he said, right? Delray Beach Police Department. All the news articles say that. All the news reports say that. But you're going to listen. There's some details that some big details that Betty gets clearly wrong. Because I'm going to play her TikTok as soon as this news conference is over. But I pray for this victim, and I pray that they find out who she is, and that she can be put to rest, be returned to her family and put to rest properly. And oh, I so hope they get whoever did this to her.
Hear from two people, our Chief of Police, Chief Russ Major, R-U-S-S-M-A-G-E-R, Russ Major, Chief of Police for the Delray Beach Police Department. You will also hear from Sergeant Casey Kelly, Sergeant Casey, C-A-S-E-Y, Kelly, K-E-L-L-Y. Delray Beach Police Chief Russ Major.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Chief Russ Major. I'm the Chief of the Delray Beach Police Department, and we are asking for the public's assistance in a recent homicide that occurred last week. On July 21st, we were called to the 1,000 block of Palm Trail in the Intracoastal Waterway where somebody is reporting a suitcase with what was believed to be the human remains hanging outside the suitcase floating within the Intracoastal Waterway. Officers and detectives responded and were able to corroborate that it was in fact human remains that were protruding from this particular suitcase. Within a few hours of this particular call, we had received 2 other calls regarding other suitcases that were floating just south of this location. There were 2 other suitcases found within a few hours of the original call. We were able to determine that the remains within this suitcase, the 2 suitcases, were actually human remains as well, and all 3 suitcases were deemed to be the same person, the same victim as the original suitcase that was found.
Okay, now, just remember that fact for when we get to Betty's TikTok. This is sad.
We contacted the medical examiner's office, and they came out to assist with the investigation, and they're also doing the autopsy on this particular case. If you have any information that relates to this investigation, we would appreciate your assistance and feedback. No information is too small. We're requesting help from the community and anyone that may have information in this case. I'm now going to introduce Sergeant Casey Kelly, who is the investigator, the lead supervisor on this case, and he'll be providing the details and answering any questions that you all may have as it relates to this investigation.
Okay, as of this press conference, the autopsy had not been completed. They have not released any details about the autopsy as of this press conference, which I believe was yesterday.
Thank you, Chief. I'm just going to elaborate a little bit on the investigation. We're estimating our female victim is somewhere between 35 and 55 years of age. She is either Caucasian or Latin American. She's roughly 5'4" with brown hair and may have tattooed eyebrows. She was found wearing a floral tank top, pictured beside me, with a black camisole shirt underneath and black shorts. The brand of the floral top is Betsavi, which is unique, we believe, and from what we can tell is a Brazilian company. Based on the victim's condition, we believe the time frame in which she was put into the water to be between Monday, July 17th, and the early morning hours of Thursday, July 20th. We're asking for the public's help with reviewing video surveillance cameras during that time frame. We ask that you specifically look for unusual vehicles or people, and certainly anyone carrying or moving luggage. The area of interest is between the Linton Boulevard Bridge and the north end Delray Beach city limits along the Intercoastal Waterway. Detective Michael Roberta is the lead investigator for this case, and all tips and information should be directed to his phone line, which I'm going to provide. 561-243-7874. Again, 561-243-7874. I will open the floor up for any questions. Just understand that the case is very sensitive, so I will be limited in my responses.
Is there a missing person that would match that description?
We are certainly looking into that, but we have not discovered that as of yet.
What is your reaction to somebody finding suitcases with human remains?
It's certainly troubling, but we're looking into, the investigation is very early in its stages.
Is there a reward offer?
Not as of yet.
Are you considering offering a reward?
We're considering all things.
How was the woman killed?
That's sensitive case information that I won't answer at this point.
Were all the parts of her body found in the 3 suitcases, or was anything missing?
We have determined that all the parts that we have are of one victim, but I won't answer specifics on which parts we have or which ones were found in which
Found
places.
in 3 separate.
Okay, I had to cut out a commercial here. There was ads. I didn't cut out any of the news conference. I just cut out the ads. This is really sad. This woman was clearly dismembered and put into 3 different suitcases. I hope that they find out who she is. I truly do. So she can be put to rest properly and get the disgusting soul that did this to her.
Suitcases. It's very gruesome.
I would agree. I won't answer at this point.
It's going to appear that there's a repeats of comments, but it's not. I had to watch it a couple times myself to make sure. It's just they say the same things. But you'll see. This is sad.
Were all the parts of her body found in the 3 suitcases, or was anything missing?
We have determined that all the parts that we have are of one victim, but I won't answer specifics on which parts we have or which ones were found in which cases.
This is
Okay, now you clearly heard he said 1 victim. You clearly heard that, and you'll hear it again.
quite gruesome.
Certainly.
I
I
mean,
would
for
agree with you.
pieces of a woman's body found in 3 separate suitcases, it's very gruesome.
I would agree with you.
And so, any thoughts on or any warnings out to the public as to maybe someone could be out there who did this?
So from what we can tell, we believe it to be an isolated incident. And that's the gist of what I can provide at this point.
Are you also asking for the public's help and maybe if their loved one hasn't answered the phone or there's got to be someone missing.
Certainly. So we've put out a press release with the additional information on social media, and we did provide a tip line, which again is Detective Roberta's number. So we have received information over the weekend, but we're looking into every single lead.
Is there a thought that this would involve human trafficking, drugs, or domestic violence?
We don't have anything that would indicate either of those just yet.
Color of her hair?
Sorry.
Any surveillance video cameras that you've been able to glean in terms of getting some information on what's going on through that?
So the stretch of waterway is very large, and that's part of why we're meeting today and asking for the.
So they're not releasing a lot of information. So we don't know all they know at this point. But somebody's got to be missing her. You would think. But what kind of person could do this to another human being?
Public's help to review some of that. We have started that, but it's a very daunting task. So we're asking for the public to do some of that that legwork for us and to please call in anything that they would find unusual on the video surveillance during the time frame that we gave.
And
Sorry.
based on the current, could this person be from another county? Could it have floated there?
We wouldn't count that out, but we don't believe that she entered the waterway in another county necessarily, but I wouldn't discount that necessarily.
Okay. Remember that part as well.
And do we have a color of her hair?
They clearly say they don't think that, that she came from any other part of Florida or any other county. They're pretty sure she, thankfully she was discovered pretty quickly, so, if anybody out there is watching this or listening to this, and you may have any information, please call the number in this video and give them whatever information you have. Don't make prank calls. Don't call in misinformation. If you have legit information, please call the Delray Police Department. They gave the number.
Or any other distinguishing marks on her other than the tattooed eyebrows?
We think a light brown is our hair color.
How long is this? How large is this?
Go ahead.
Can you tell us anything about who found the body in one of those areas of heavily construction work is taking place there? Can you give us any information?
From the first call, I believe was a construction worker in the area that found the first suitcase. But outside of that, there were a few different locations, different people have found different cases.
You said a part of the human remains were sticking out of one of the suitcases. What?
Now, there was 3 suitcases, and there was more than one person that found suitcases. But in the same area.
What was sticking out?
I don't want to get into specifics about which part was found where or sticking out.
And you said there's a long stretch from the Boulevard Bridge to the north end of the city. How long is that?
George Bush Boulevard Bridge. So there's Linton.
Come on, it had to have been a messy scene. Because it's very messy and not as easy to dismember someone as people think. It had to be a horrific scene, Excuse me.
Atlantic and George Bush. So that's the stretch of waterway that we're looking at.
Yeah, so they're in the same, the 3 suitcases were found in the same area. And the chances of them just floating in together out of somewhere else in Florida, yeah, that's why they're saying they believe that that's where the suitcases were dumped in that area.
Linton Bridge and the
George Bush Boulevard Bridge.
And how far is that? Is that a couple miles or half a mile, or do you know?
I would say roughly a mile.
Why do you think that's the area where the suitcases were placed in the water?
I didn't say that. I don't know where the suitcases were necessarily placed into the water. That's what we're looking into, and that's what we're asking the public's help for. I'm just telling you that is the area that we'd like the public to focus on, because that is where we have recovered the remains.
Does the current in the waterway flow southward or northward?
Just based on some information that we got from the Coast Guard who assisted us, it could have gone in both directions at any point in the intercoastal.
3 more questions.
Could you explain the markings on the board there?
The markings are the first, the suitcases that we found on Friday. So one is...
You can walk up to it. You
Sure.
can walk up to it if you
Okay,
want.
so just trying to orient myself here. This is going to be the Palm Trail, and this is the first suitcase. And then the second and third suitcases were found relatively close on Southeast 7th Avenue. I'm just giving you general areas. These are obviously in the water. And then the other one, Casarina Road.
Can you tell me this? The make and model, is that a possibility of knowing what the suitcase types were?
We're not prepared to release that sensitive information. Sorry.
So you said she was put in the water sometime after Monday. Do you think she was killed then too, or was she dead for a while perhaps before she was
put in the suitcases, then put in the water?
That's a good question, we're not certain.
And the conditions of the
I think they're still waiting on autopsy results.
body are like, still the parts and everything on decomposition or still?
They were in the early stages of decomposition.
Okay.
How hopeful are you that you can solve this? It seems like it's going to be nearly impossible.
We're very hopeful. We've got a great team working together. We're following up on any leads, but we are asking for the public's help to generate some more leads.
Why are you hopeful? Why are you hopeful?
So we have a very good team put together.
When's the last time something like this has happened here in Delray Beach?
I think it was before my time. I can't speak on the exact year, but at least a decade or more.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so
We'll
much.
begin in the next couple of minutes with a similar press conference for Spanish-speaking stations. Thank you.
Okay. Now, the reason I played the whole press conference in its entirety and not just clipped it, because I wanted everyone to hear the press conference, because who knows, maybe somebody out there knows something and can call in. And I didn't want to disrespect the victim. But now we're going to get into Bullhorn Betty, and this pisses me off because she can't even get it right. She's got the article right there with her, one of the articles. There was many articles. She couldn't even watch a news report for 1 minute that clearly tells you everything you need to know. She gets the town wrong. She says there's 3 victims. There's not. There's 1 victim, 3 cases, 3 suitcases. It wasn't in Deltona. It was in Delray Beach. And Betty knows this, because people even commented that she got it wrong on the video. But did she go take it down or edit it? No. Because Betty don't care about it. Betty don't care about that victim. All Betty cares about is her views. And this should show her subs, her followers, that she don't care about the facts. All she cares about is pushing out content after content, whether it's right or wrong. But let's get into Betty's TikTok. Clearly pissed me off.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here.
Okay, now this is one of the articles. Okay? And you can see the article. It says Delray Beach. But listen to what Betty's going to say. And she's loud. Sorry about that. Let me turn that down a little bit. Don't want to blow anybody's ears with that mouth.
Guys, there's some breaking news out of Florida.
And also, but when she did this video, it wasn't breaking news. It had already been out. So, it's not breaking news.
There was 3 suitcases with human remains in the Florida waterways here in Deltona, Florida.
No, Betty. Do your damn research. It's Delray Beach, Betty. The article right there behind you that you have posted says Delray Beach. Deltona's 3-4 hours away. Not even, nope, not close. Nope. You can't even take the time to show some respect and get the details right for this victim.
Officials say after human remains were found in a suitcase floating in the Florida waterways, they came across 2 additional suitcases.
The officials didn't come across the suitcases anyway, and they were all found like within that little area, right, that small, that within a mile radius, right there. This just pisses me off that she can't take the time to even read.
Investigators say at least one of the females victims was wearing a...
There is only one, Betty, not one of the female victims. There is only one victim, Betty. Unfortunately, she was put into 3 suitcases. There was one victim, Betty.
Floral tank top, black undershirt, black...
It wasn't an undershirt. It was a camisole, Betty.
Mid-thigh shorts. So if this sounds like anybody that...
They didn't say mid-thigh shorts. They just said black shorts.
you know you are asked to call law enforcement at your earliest convenience at 561-243-7874. If you are missing somebody that is Hispanic,
Betty, they said Caucasian or Latino. They did not just say Hispanic. You don't get the facts right. They said Caucasian or, Betty. Light brown hair, Betty.
middle age, has brown hair, approximately 5 feet 4 inches, please reach out to the detectives, the homicide detectives, again at 561-243-7874. Get this message out. Again, these victims have not yet been.
It's not these victims. It's one victim of homicide, Betty. One victim.
Identified yet. If you are missing a loved one here in the state of Florida, please reach out and find out if it's your loved one today. God bless each and every one of you. Prayers for the victims and their families. Please be kind to each other, especially in the chat box below. God bless.
She can't even take the time to show respect to the victim to get the details right. She can't. And they said they did not believe the remains came from outside the county. And they were all found within, the suitcases were all found within a mile radius. And they said it was slight decomp. So, you know, she can't get the town right. She can't get the number of victims right. No one ever said it was multiple victims. They made it clear it was one victim. But anyway, I just wanted to point these things out about Betty. Thanks for listening. Thanks for just coming in. Hit that like button and subscribe. I think I might go live either later today or tomorrow. But I'll see you on the YouTube streets. Thanks, guys.